Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of English in the Kitchen. I'm your host and I am super excited to share with you how to learn English while cooking up a storm in your kitchen. Okay, I know that many of you are struggling to speak English confidently, right? And that's totally normal. Learning a new language can be tough, especially when it comes to speaking. But don't worry, I am here to help. Today, we are going to explore how to practice English in the kitchen using everyday cooking vocabulary and scenarios. Okay, so let's face it, speaking English can be intimidating, especially if you are not used to it. But the good news is that you don't have to be a perfect English speaker to communicate effectively. What is more important is that you are willing to practice and have fun with it. And that's exactly what we are going to do today. We will start with some simple cooking vocabulary like ingredients, utensils, and cooking techniques. Okay, then we will practice using these words in everyday situations like following a recipe or giving instructions. Okay, it's going to be very interesting. So, if you are ready to get cooking and improve your English skills at the same time, then let's get started. And don't worry if you make mistakes. That's all part of the learning process. Just relax, have fun, and enjoy the ride. Okay? So it's going to be very interesting. So watch this video very carefully. Okay? Now that we have got the basics covered, let's get into the practice session. This is where the magic happens and you get to practice speaking English in the kitchen. So, okay, now let's imagine that you are cooking your favorite dish. Okay? And you need to follow a recipe. So, how would you describe what you are doing? For example, I am chopping the onions and I am mixing the flour and sugar or I am boiling the water. Try it. Describe what you are doing in the kitchen using simple English vocabulary. Okay, let's take it a step further. Imagine that you are teaching a friend how to cook your favorite dish. So, how would you give them instructions? For example, I can guide you. First, we will say, right, first preheat the oven to 180 degrees. Next, mix the eggs and milk in a bowl. Or finally, bake the cake for 30 minutes. It's very simple. Practice giving instructions using cooking vocabulary. You can even practice with a friend or family member or record yourself and listen to the recording. Now, I'm going to give you another example. Okay, imagine that you are at a dinner party and someone asks you, what's your favorite dish to cook? So, how would you respond? See, you can say, my favorite dish to cook is chicken curry. I love cooking pasta with tomato sauce. Or you can say, my favorite dessert to make is chocolate cake. So this is very simple, okay? Just practice responding to questions like this using simple English vocabulary. Okay, it's not that tough. And remember, the goal is to practice speaking English in the kitchen. Okay, so don't worry too much about making mistakes. Just have fun and enjoy the process. Okay, okay. Now I'm going to give you another example. Okay, suppose like if you are cooking lunch and you want to describe the process in English. Okay, so it's going to be very fun. Okay, you are preparing lunch. Okay, so first step is you are preparing the ingredients. So how you can describe the process? See, I'm going to tell you. You can say, I am going to prepare the ingredients for lunch. First, I need to wash the vegetables. I am washing the carrots, potatoes, and onions. Next, I need to chop the vegetables. I am chopping the carrots into small pieces, the potatoes into cubes, and the onions into thin slices. Okay, now step 2. making the dough for chapati. Okay, you are cooking chapati also, so you can practice saying, now I need to make the dough for chapati. I am taking 2 cups of wheat flour and adding a pinch of salt. Then I am adding water to the flour and mixing it well. I am kneading the dough for 5 minutes to make it smooth and soft. Very simple. Now step 3, rolling out the chapati. So you can practice by saying, after making the dough, I need to roll out the chapati. I am taking a small ball of dough and flattening it into a circle. I am using a rolling pin to roll out the chapati evenly. Okay. Now cooking the chapati. Step 4. So you can say, now I need to cook the chapati. I am heating a non-stick pan over medium heat. I am placing the chapati on the pan and cooking it for 1 minute on each side. I am brushing the chapati with a little oil to make it crispy. Okay, so it's very fun and interesting, right? Now let's come on at step number 5, preparing the vegetables. Okay, so you can practice by saying, while the chapati is cooking, I need to prepare the vegetables. I am heating oil in a pan over medium heat. I am adding the chopped onions and saute them until they are translucent. Then I am adding the chopped carrots and potatoes and stirring well. Now it's done. Now cooking the dal. You are also cooking dal, so how you can practice? Now I need to cook the dal. I am rinsing the lentils and soaking them in water for 30 minutes. Then I am boiling the lentils in water until they are soft and mushy. I am adding salt and spices to the dal and stirring well. Now it's time to serve the meal. So you can say, finally, I need to serve the meal. I am placing the cooked chapati, vegetables, and dal on a plate. I am garnishing the vegetables with fresh coriander leaves. I am serving the meal hot and enjoying it with my family. So, see how simple it was and interesting, right? We practiced speaking English while cooking a traditional Indian meal. You can practice like this too. Try to describe your daily activities like cooking, cleaning, or exercising using simple English vocabulary and sentences. And yes, don't worry if you make mistakes. The goal is to practice and improve your English skills. Okay, you can practice with a friend, family member, or even by recording yourself. If you don't have to talk to anyone, you can talk to yourself. Okay, so that's all for today's session. I will come up with another session soon where we will practice more English conversations in different scenarios. Till then, keep practicing and stay tuned. And yes, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next session. Keep practicing and keep learning. All the best.